Welcome to the Roasted Snow Horror Show,
where fear and dread go head to head.
Welcome to the show, where the screams collide, where blood runs cold, and the shadows hide. Each week a fight, two films will clash. Last week's champ, will it burn to ash? The Roasted Snow Horror Show, where fear and gore will always flow. One film wins, one must go. The Roasted Snow Horror Show. Lights go down, the fight begins. Which nightmare takes the final win? You pick your side, we'll break it down. The Roasted Snow, the goriest showdown.
and here are your hosts.
Chris and Ryan!
Welcome everyone to the Roasted Snow Horror Show. I'm your host Ryan Rosted. Everybody thinks my last name is Roasted. That guy, little Chris today, is Chris Snow, Snowman, Sexual Tyrannosaurus, Viagra Pill with a face, all that good stuff. You guys know it. And we promised you guys a surprise this week, and our guy Joe came through. Second time on the show. We have Joe Castro.
Let's go.
We want to send you guys to the first episode we did with him. It was back in January, I believe. But how you been since then, man?
Hey, Chris. Hey, Ryan. It's good to see both of you gentlemen. You know, I've been great. I really have been super busy. Thank you for asking. Thank you for taking interest in my work. You know, I feel like I'm like literally in the pinnacle of my career right now. I have 7 features I'm working on. Not all at the same time, but yes, all at the same time. You know, you kind of have one cooking over here on the pot in order for, you know, so, but things are going well. You know, I don't know about where you are, but it's hot here in Southern California. So my husband works on the TV show Big Brother. It's his 23rd season with Big Brother. And he works the graveyard shift, which is when they do all of the post-production work, basically, because, you know, the contestants are awake during the day and then they edit what they do during the day at night. So I switched my schedule to his schedule. I work in the studio at night. So right now I'm normally taking a nap, getting ready to wake up for my graveyard shift. But I'm so grateful to be here on the show with you guys. And yeah, I'm in the thick of it right now. I'm actually working on the biggest feature of my entire career at this very moment. And then I'm flying out to Chicago on Thursday to work on another movie in the middle of the biggest film of my career, because there's mutual producers on both films, and I was going to turn one of them down, and the other ones are like, don't turn it down because I don't want to cause any ruffle with that one, because he's also working on this one. I couldn't even get out of it if I wanted to. So,
You committed. You signed in blood.
yeah, you know, I'm in it. They own me for the next 3 months, basically.
That is awesome. And I got to tell you, at some point, I want to get your husband on this show just to talk Big Brother, because that's a guilty pleasure of mine. I got, especially on the editing side, because I always wonder, because I'm like, are they leading on to something? They're editing it this certain way. Is that person going to win? But we're not here to talk about Big Brother. I can't get on that. But it's awesome to see all the great stuff that you're doing. And near the end of this, we'll maybe if you can divulge some info on the projects you're working on.
Yeah, I can actually, because I just got a public announcement that they're going to do like a public screening. It's actually the sequel to a cult movie back in the mid-90s. I don't know. Do you remember this movie with Clint Howard called Ice Cream Man?
Dude, no way. Joe, you got to be kidding me.
I'm working on another Ice Cream Man.
We've talked.
I can't tell you any details about it.
Okay.
But they're going to do like a public screening of the original film in the first week of August here in LA, August the 7th, and they're going to announce the new film. But I just got this public announcement in a text message. I'm like, I think it would be okay to say something. Anyways, it's amazing. It's all
I was going to try so hard to get it out of you because we've been following you on Facebook and all the fun stuff you've been doing. And you said a little bit ago that you had just signed the NDA and you couldn't really talk about, all the things that you had going. So this is exciting, dude. I mean, congratulations, number one. This is fantastic.
And the film is like, it's like, it's just more of what you liked about the first movie. The same, the producers, director is involved from the first film. They're bringing on some new people. Clint is obviously heavily involved in the film. I'm so grateful and honored to be able to work with Clint very closely. I mean, every day we're talking about the details of what's going on, and everybody's like, it's all practical effects, like just one crazy thing after another. I don't want to divulge anything other than that, but I don't even know if I've said too much. I might get in trouble. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I don't know.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. Sneak peek on the Roasted Snow Horror Show, folks.
It's the first time I've said anything about it online.
Damn, that is awesome. I mean, you saw our reaction. We're hyped up about it right now.
We're ready for it.
Right. We are going to try and stay on track here because I wanted it to be fresh in my mind. So I did watch Sunset Strip Killers, and I'm going to butcher that name at some point in this episode because that is a hard string of words to put together sometimes. But and I even texted you before the show because there's a decapitation in that movie that is just like, I'm watching it like, oh.
There's that Sunset Strip Killers is a movie I'm very proud of. It's directed by Chad Farron and produced by Jeff Decker from over at Epic Pictures in conjunction with Dread Central. And it's just a classic true crime story, but it's loaded with everything we love about horror movies. So it's like, a rated R version of kind of like Law and Order, kind of like, like a serial killer kind of film kind of thing. So it has all these very, commercial aspects to it, but it's done with all the sick and twisted things we love about like underground filmmaking, And
you got the chance in this one not to just obviously help with those effects pieces, but elevate the room. You were in front of the camera a little bit for us this time around.
Just a couple of shots. I'm in it for like 3 shots of the movie, but funny story. I play in the credits. It says Ron Jeremy. On IMDb,
it says Teddy.
It's another name. I could be probably because the IMDb account was made first.
Right.
But there's a scene in the film where if people don't know, the Sunset Strip Killers it's a true crime.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a man who was a serial killer who convinces this woman who's obsessed with him to begin killing women with him. And it happened like in the early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that he did to like seduce her or introduce her to his lifestyle was he takes her to this porn shoot, and he gets her to get involved in this like orgy, this porn orgy. And in the scene, in the script, it basically has like, this ambiguous name of a character, and it really doesn't to say much. And so the director asked me, he said, "Hey, Joe, do you want to play?" I think his name was Pedro or something like that in the film. And I said, sure. I'm in the middle of making the effects. And I thought it was, just a bit part, whatever. And then so like 4 days before we shoot the scene, I get an email from the costumer, and it says, everybody in the film, because the movie was made very fast. So I think we shot the whole thing in like 11 days or 13 days. He said, come in for your costume fitting, find your name on this roster, and with the time, come in and pick a time and come in, and we'll do a costume fitting with you. And my name wasn't on the roster. And I said to the costumer, I said, hey, my name's not on the roster to come in to pick a time. She goes, oh, that's okay, Joe. You don't have to come in for a fitting. You're going to be naked. This is like 4 days before I shoot it. I'm thinking like, I'm like Pedro the janitor or something. I don't know. And then I go back and look at the script, and it says I'm banging some chick in the middle of the room in front of everybody.
Man.
I think I have some like crazy line like "Remember the Alamo" in Spanish or something.
No, that's right. Yeah. I couldn't hear it over the clapping. So I immediately, after getting the email back from her, I'm like eating lunch and I'm reading it and I'm like, put the fork down. Stand up,
fast, we need to
go right to the pool, start tanning, swimming. I didn't eat for 4 days. and got real tan. That porn sleazy guy tan from like the 70s, 80s.
That's
And,
that late 70s SoCal tan.
yeah. And and I was very nervous to do this. It's my first time, and so I'm coming on set, and then all my friends are there. All my friends have been cast in the scene. Like Ken May, who's done nudity as well. He's one of my closest friends. I've worked with him on several films. Put special effects makeup on him. I molded the guy's penis for a film. Very we're close. I mean,
That's as close as you can get right there.
Ram, who I've done films with before. I've glued prosthetic monster penises on him too. He's there. Channy Crossfire, a very well-known. She does some adult stuff. But has a nice following on Instagram. She's there. My friend Marie, John Karras from Poultrygeist is there, and Jeff Leroy, a well-known cult movie director. He's there in the scene. All my friends are here. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And we walk in on the set, and it's like the Oval Office. It's like a set of the Oval Office. I was like, this should be fun, and we had a lot of fun doing it. And it's a couple of shots in the film. But it does it sets like this, that scene sets like this, boundary for the rest of the film. It's like, you're going to see some stuff, get ready,
Mm-hmm.
And, I think, the director did a very good job. Yeah.
Well, and with a scene like that, I mean, how do you prep for that other than tanning and like, do you do film study?
Well, back, I don't know how to. How do I explain this? A lot of people know that I directed adult video back in the early 90s, and I did it for 7 years. I was the youngest pornographer in Los Angeles County for 7 years. I've probably directed maybe over 700 scenes. I was 19 years old.
Because you would come out, if I remember right, you'd come out to California from Texas at that time, right?
And the women in the industry, I was a young gay male. I was 19, and I wanted nothing from them other than for them to have an amazing scene and to do something fun. That's all. That was my whole intention with them, and they were very comfortable working with me. And I directed some of the, if not the largest mega adult film star at the time, Savannah, in her very first scene ever. And I had plenty of experience by the time I got to meet Ron Jeremy. I've actually directed Ron Jeremy as well in scenes when I was in my younger years. So it's been a while. It's been a long while. But I did have experience with it. And people know that I did. Yeah, I worked in the industry, in the adult industry for a long time. In fact, when Robert Rodriguez made El Mariachi, he asked me to do the special effects for the film. He didn't have any money at the time, and I said I'd just do it for credit, and just send me money for the postage to send you the special effects props. So I made him an arm that he shoots with a shotgun in El Mariachi, and a decapitated head that I believe someone rolls like a basketball across the ground, and it rolls to a little boy's feet. Anyways, in the film, and Robert didn't give me. Not only did he not give me credit in the film, he took the credit himself, and he didn't. He told me, or I was told by someone, he didn't give you credit in the movie because you worked in adult. He wanted to keep your name off the movie.
Oh,
I said, well, that's great, but why did he take the credit himself then?
Right.
I put his own name,
anyway,
like,
and so that was that was 1989, 1990.
Damn.
And, but I had a lot of fun. I met a lot of great people. I'm still best friends with a lot of the people from the industry back in the day when I worked. Some of my closest friends in the whole wide world made the most money I ever made in my entire life doing that, and had a lot of fun. My youth was amazing. It was wild and amazing. Limousines, porn stars, and fun times. I even won a couple of AVN awards for most outrageous sex scene. So did I have experience doing the scene? Absolutely. It was exactly no rehearsal needed.
Awesome. And you brought up fun and kind of how that scene kind of is the tonal shift in the movie, because in the movie, Doug is taking Carol down there. She doesn't know that she's going down there. And then that kind of brought her into the more submissive side, which led everything to the rest of the movie. And it does get, I mean, I want to say the first half of the movie is relatively tame, but it's coming from like our experience is that,
Right.
it's like there's a lot of gunshots, there's a lot of killing that way. But I like talked to you about it. I got to get to the decapitation because I want to know how it was done. Because I'm sitting there watching it and I'm like, okay, I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but it's a killer couple, and I believe this is Carol's first kill, or is it her first killer? Because the first one she kind of fumbles, and then the second one
she fumbles the first one. She tries to kill someone on the second one, but she fails because she's caught in the act. She has to run away. And then this one, she does actually kill the person. And in the scene, in the script, I believe it just says, it doesn't say that she does the decapitation on camera. It's like kind of, I'm not sure. I'll have to look at the script again. But when it was originally done, they find the girl's head, or they throw the girl's head away, or something like that. They're relishing the girl's head. It's in a box. So you never actually see it. You have to actually see the decapitation. And, when I read the script, there's little bits and pieces of all kinds of practical stuff throughout the film. But I thought, we need one. I told Chad, the director, I said, we need one like hero graphic effect in the movie that's just this standout thing. And so I just
something to make them remember.
So it's kind of like in Poltergeist, everybody remembers that guy when he starts to pull his face apart.
Peeling the face off. Yep.
We need one of those in this film. And I said, can I mold the actress and we can do a real, and he's like, sure, bring her over. And she was up game for it. And so I made this beautiful head that Chad always finds a real fresh perspective of how to do any practical effect. Him and Jeff Billings, who shot the film. Jeff is an amazing director of photography. I can't give him enough credit. Jeff Billings shot the film, and him and Chad always come up with these, like, they just find this angle that you've never looked at a decapitation from before, and they film it from that angle. It's all done in one take. There was no stopping. You should just, I was kind of directing Susan, the lead actress, during the take, because handing a real actress a knife, and because it was a real knife that was sharp, and she had to cut into the silicone head. You show them something, it's a little bit of a risk, you never really hand an actress a real weapon unless they're having to do actual cutting. And I kept directing her to, I said, pretend like it's a roast and you're cutting a roast. I said, have you ever cut a roast? She's like, no, I've never cut a roast. I was like, you pretend like you're cutting a giant piece of meat and you're trying to, and that's what she was, that's what she was trying to do. And just that little bit of direction kind of led to it being super authentic, I think. Between Jeff and Chad's angle, having this beautiful silicone head, having Susan struggle for their first kill and cut a roast, I think it went all perfectly. And there's a little bit of digital there too that you don't see, because whenever I add a little digital to my stuff, it's always just a finesse. It's just a little wisp of it.
Cleans it up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't ever like to create something digitally for a film. I always like to take something that's there and finesse it with it, which is the correct way to use the tool, I believe.
Well, I think it was an all-timer. We love a good decapitation here, and anytime, because we've seen a million movies where one swipe, boom, it's done. It seemed like a very realistic portrayal of how it would go, and it's somebody that is new to this, the character, so I thought it was acted really well. It made me cringe, and I don't really cringe at beheadings. There's plenty of other shit, but and then the climb. I believe it's the last kill of the movie. It's there's a little tease of another one too.
Yeah. It's funny. Yeah. Chad always finds a way to pull it all together and put it all in there. It's like a pizza, and there's something for everybody on the pizza. And he finds a way to pull it all together. And because I did a shot. There's a decapitation towards the end of the film, and there was a shot where the killer raises up the head decapitated, and it wasn't in the body of the film. And then Chad found a way to slide it in the credits, and there's there it is. And I was like, oh wow.
Well,
Did you face any like unique challenges on this one? I mean, I know obviously your body of work encompasses almost everything from A to Z as far as effects are concerned. Did you approach this one with any kind of unique, like, I want to be challenged in this specific way, anything like that?
Doing the practical gunshots, was I don't use squibs because I'm not a pyrotechnician and I don't have that license. So when I use the stuff I use on this film, close to people's eyes, close to people's faces, being shot in the face and the head, it was always a bit of a. I even though I know it's safe because I've done it to myself, like literally I will test everything on myself before I take it to set and ask somebody else to do it. I'll use air cannon. I can use air cannons, and I test them against my face with water and this sort of thing, and make sure it's safe. Even though I know it's safe, I've tested it before. I'm always concerned that something might go wrong, or the actor or actress might move in the wrong direction and offset it, or something might happen wrong. Of course, it's full. I make it foolproof so nothing go wrong. But there's always still that little piece of me that has a fear that something might happen. But other than that, no, everything was pretty. It was pretty much something I've done before, so there was no really reinventing the wheel. It was just doing my very best of what I've already accomplished, and I think that's why the film works so well.
Well, and the gunshots themselves, because that is a good bulk of the kills are gunshots, and I believe it might be the first kill of the movie, but like it looks like the chick is shot right in the nose. I'm like, I haven't really seen that before. Yeah, I'm like,
she shot literally right here in between the eye and the nose, and I had an air cannon rig that went up her face right here to her nose because I wanted it to blow here and the pressure would go like this, out so you could really see it. And it's not a lot of pressure, it's just enough, but it's still stuff like that right next to someone's eye, this kind of thing. All that stuff it gives, I know it's fine, but it's still I'm always concerned about it.
Don't want an Alec Baldwin situation.
Yeah, no, I mean, we don't use anything like that on set. Yeah. It would never, nothing like that would ever happen. And I also, whenever someone's scared of an effect, I always say, look, I'll do it on myself, or look, I'll do it right here and I'll show you, I'll hand somebody like a knife that looks really real, or maybe it is metal, but they think that the blade's going to cut them, and I'll go like this right to my face and I'll show them. I'll say, look, it's not going to cut you. It's so dull. It's, this sort of thing. Yeah. I never hand a real weapon to an actor ever, unless they have to actually do cutting and their face is in the shot. And in some cases I will, in most cases I will step in if it's just the hands of the killer or something, and I'll do it myself. Nice.
You heard that, kids. When you're shooting people and stabbing them and cutting off their head, hey, safety first.
Absolutely. Yeah. The worst thing that could happen is a terrible accident, all for the sake of art, just for having fun. There's no need. And no one cares if it's a real knife or not. You can be done with a fake knife. It doesn't ever have to be we don't need a real gun with a real bullet on set. It doesn't have to happen. No one cares.
Have you ever had an effect like that ever fail spectacularly on set?
Not to a point where someone got hurt, but I have had, sometimes when I'm doing an effect, it's under there's a time limit to actually do it on set. Okay, guys, this has to happen in the next 5 minutes once I pour the blood into this thing, because then the blood's going to seep into the rest of it and then it'll get too soggy or something like that, right? And one time I was doing a gunshot where a man was holding a Tupperware container full of spaghetti that he had just warmed up in the microwave, and the killer was supposed to shoot him through the bowl of spaghetti. The bowl of spaghetti was supposed to explode, and then he was supposed to drop the bowl, and you're going to see a gunshot wound in his stomach. And I told them, I said, you're going to have less than 5 minutes once I load this all together to do it. And when they were ready to go, I did it, and then it took them 25 minutes to say action. And sure enough, it didn't work. The spaghetti sauce and the blood had seeped into the mechanism just enough to make it stick and not work right, and I could never get it. I could never get it to go back once it had gone that far for that set. It's science, what we do is science, and if your special effects artist tells you this, and this, then you should follow their direction because it's science. I'm working with science.
It's made to work a certain way, and when you don't follow the directions,
it's just the laws of science, and so that's what we do. Follow.
Awesome. Well, with this movie, obviously, if you guys don't know the story of the Sunset Strip Killers, because I went down a rabbit hole too. I knew the basic story, but after watching the movie, listened to some podcasts, was like, all right, that's
true crime and fiction. It's actually a really interesting interview that the male killer gave. This is after he was arrested and locked up, and spoiler alert, if you guys aren't familiar with obviously the film and the killers themselves, he was apprehended in California. She has since passed away, like that kind of thing. He gave a very interesting interview in which he first of all, he demanded the interviewer give him sign his own NDA, or maybe not an NDA, his own agreement to actually talk about it. So he's very mad when the interviewer didn't give that. But if you guys haven't checked it out, I'm sure you're very familiar with it.
I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen it.
Man, I'll send you the link. It's very interesting.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Well, and like with that, this movie has a lot of there's a lot of sexual assault. There's a lot of violence, obviously. It's a very unsettling movie, but I find it interesting because a lot of these movies in time where it's this really tough subject matter, it seems like they have the most fun sets. And just talking to you right now, it seems like you had a fucking blast on this set. Like, am I just totally misreading that? Or, I mean, what puts everyone at ease when they're, is it like gallows humor? Like, hey, we're shooting this really fucked up thing. Let's all just have fun with it.
Well, Chad knows what he's doing. He really knows what he's doing. He doesn't waste your time. He doesn't waste anyone's time. And he knows how to get what he needs in a way that isn't, painful or he's a very prolific filmmaker, and he delivers every single time. And, I think this is my 11th feature with Chad, and he continues to improve with each film. I mean, by leaps and bounds. And this film is no different. And on set we do. I literally will do one take of the gunshot. That's all we need. You don't have to do it twice. And he's got his crew, his cast, and his crew that he works with on a regular basis. Down. We all know what the assignment is. We come in and we do our job, and we do it with such efficiency, and that it makes it a joy to be around, and that's the truth, and if anyone ever asks for more than what is required, it's only because they're trying to make the movie amazing, and for no other reason than that. And that's completely understandable and acceptable on a movie set, especially when you're trying to make something that you want to be proud of, and that's what happens on a Chad Farron set. And working with Jeff Billings and Sylvia, Marie, and Suzanne, and all the people that I work with when I work with Chad, it's a family affair. We know our strengths, we know our weaknesses, and we're always willing to jump in and help out when necessary.
Well, yeah, and I mean, especially when you're tackling something true crime, I mean, the set pieces have got to be on point. If it's, like you said, it's the late 80s, and I thought the set pieces were great. I already touched on the acting performances, especially from the leads. I thought they made me feel uncomfortable, which is their job. So, the only beef I had with it was that it was only 90 minutes, and there's a lot to pack in 90 minutes. I was like, no, show the trial. I want to see the trial. So, but yeah, man, I can't give you enough credit for not only your work on that movie, but everyone involved. It's on Apple TV right now. Do you know if it's coming to any other streaming services anytime soon?
I just saw that I think it's coming to, it's going to come it'll eventually be on Tubi. Now, I don't know if it'll be cut when it gets to these other services. Apple TV, it is uncut and uncensored, and that's the only way to watch a Chad Farron film. And definitely watch it now if you can on Apple TV. It'll go to all the same familiar places where we find true crime stuff and horror films.
Awesome.
Love it.
And we'll direct you guys once that gets on more platforms. We'll pump the shit out of this.
I believe
we
it's on Google, and I want to say there was a couple of other sites. I just got the. Let me see. Hold on. Can you still see me? Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just got the email today. I know that it's playing on. Here it is. It's playing on. It's Amazon, Apple TV, Charter, Spectrum, Comcast, DirecTV, and Dish. Fandango at Home, Google Play, Sling TV, Verizon TV, and YouTube. Yeah.
Awesome. You see,
Perfect.
it's everywhere, and I know some of those are going to be like probably a $6.99, $7.99 rental. You can spend $8 a lot worse elsewhere.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it totally delivers. This is a film that totally delivers, and it's a. I believe that Chad literally is very successful at delivering a low budget film that feels like it was either shot or made in the 80s, like as a period piece. He does it really well. He does a very good job making it feel like a period piece film, unlike a lot of bigger movies that don't, that are too polished, too, whatever it is, but he actually makes it feel like a true period piece film.
Well, and we've had a long-standing discussion since we've been doing this show about how it seems like these bigger pictures, the theatrical releases, all that, they're starting to finally learn that less can be more. You look at we've talked about Obsession, and that one has blown up, and that one had what, a $750,000
$750,000 they made it for.
And you get these big time studios, and they try to bastardize a project, and just because you throw more money at it doesn't mean it's a better product.
Right.
And I've known some people that have I'll recommend a movie, like I'll recommend this one. Oh, I've never heard of it. Well, there's more avenues you can take to watch some good movies that you're completely missing out on. This is definitely going to be near the top of that recommendation list.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm sure the cast and crew does as well.
Yeah, we loved it. We got you to tell a little bit about Ice Cream Man. Can you tell us anything else you're working on?
What are you allowed to tell us?
We just finished shooting The Devil's Disciple, which is the Richard Ramirez story.
Oh,
and
I'll be all about that one.
Yeah, great stuff in that as well. I get to play Richard Ramirez's father in that one. And there's a movie that I just finished. Had I already shot I don't think I'd already shot The Morning Architect when I came on the show the last time.
I think you were teasing us about it. It was an upcoming thing.
The Morning Architect, it was shot in Florida in April. Director Joe Hollow, and it's produced by Debbie Rochon and Dave Endexler. And I'm the lead villain in the film. It's The Morning, as in Mouring, Morning Architect.
And you lost like 30 pounds to do this one, didn't you?
Yeah, I lost like 30 pounds in like literally 2 months for that thing. It is it's basically an architect that is in mourning of his dead wife, and he has I can't really divulge any more details beyond that, but it's probably the film I'm most proud of, not because I'm the lead, but because Joe Hollow has allowed me to come in and be like a true visual effects supervisor on the film. And, I believe, it's great to have a lot of great special effects, but special effects are best when they actually move the story forward. You don't even need special effects if they don't move the story forward. You can have countless special effects in film if they don't move it. And this is a film that has special effects that actually move the story forward as you see them, and some amazing sequences in the film. I'm hoping that we'll have post-production done by the end of the year. My husband Steven has been editing the film, and it's turning out to be something really cool. So that's The Morning Architect. I play the Morning Architect in the film, and stars Debbie Rochon, Brink Stevens, Alyssa Dowling, Rhonda Shear, and Deborah Lamb. And then myself as, like I said, the Morning Architect. And then we have a film that I'm working on with Carmela Camara and Nick Camara up in Chicago, called I think it's a term. It's when you treat someone like they're a god. Deify.
Deify.
Yes.
That's what I do to Chris all the time.
Was that? Yeah, when you feel someone, when you worship someone like they're a god, and that's happening Thursday. I'm going up there on Thursday to shoot that thing.
All right.
I don't think I can say any more about it. I don't know how much I should be talking about this.
We don't want to get you. We don't want to get you in trouble.
And then of course another Ice Cream Man is happening. I literally come back a few days later, and another Ice Cream Man is happening. Even as we speak, I'm getting text messages and moving forward with stuff with that. And it has a great cast too. I can't divulge yet who's in it, but some people that I've always wanted to work with are in it. And then I'm off to Mexico to shoot a film with a new director. I don't know if I can announce anything about that one, but it's definitely it reminds me of like an old kind of like Zorro. It's kind of like Zorro, an old Zorro.
Very swashbuckling. Yeah.
Yeah, but like darker as a horror film.
Dang.
It's right up my alley.
Like really brutal, brutal revenge styled killings in it. So,
and Joe, I've seen you've been posting a lot about it. Obviously, an older film that you did. If you guys haven't watched it, go watch it. It's The Summer of Massacre. Correct me if I'm wrong. Keep me honest here. It's that you put out an extended cut with some extra stuff and broke the Guinness World Record for most deaths. Am I correct on that? Am I off?
The movie, The Summer of Massacre, has the Guinness Book of World Record. It set the Guinness Book of World Record for the highest body count in a slasher movie back in 2012. It's a film that my husband and I produced. And so this coming fall, we are going to be going back and doing a George Lucas on the film. And we're going to do a whole new pass on the film, color correction, edit, sound, digital pass on the film. And we're going to break our world record and re-release the film with a new higher body count. And also we're going to set another Guinness Book of World Record with the film, something that's never been done before. So I can't say what.
Don't
it is.
Tease me like that. Don't get me all worked up.
Yeah. We're gonna get a lot of people involved in it, and I'm super excited about it. And John Dugan, we've already shot John Dugan from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He's going to be in it, and we have Brett Wagner from the latest version, or the newest, the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He's going to be in it, and it's a whole all-star cast of people that I'm super proud of, and set a new world record. And I just get to go back. It's been 14 years since we did the first film, about 15 years since. And I've learned so much during that time. When I look back at it, I mean, something I'm super proud of, but ultimately the performances are there, the story's there, the record's there, but my effects just weren't quite there. And so I'm really happy to be able to go back and clean up everything that makes me cringe about it, and then release it in a way that I can be super proud of and put out into the world again.
And I'm a huge fan of that. I mean, I think being able to, because I look at the work as an art piece, right? And similar to maybe like music, like remastered albums, being able to go back and refinish some things that you couldn't quite get right the first time. I've always been a strong advocate that the artist, the creator, the director, the person that actually brought it forth has every right to say, you know what, I kind of wanted to tweak this here and I wanted to do this a little bit differently. Huge advocate, huge fan. Boy, I can't wait to check that out when you guys are finished with it.
Yeah, when we created the first film, I was going through school to learn visual effects, and I incorporated a lot of the work. I was learning a lot of stuff. I mean, there's like sequences in the film where there's like these firefighters that are fighting a wildfire, and they're trying to put out the wildfire, and the fire engulfs them, and they die in the fire supposedly. And I did that sequence using visual effects, and it just wasn't there. I didn't have the skill to do what I saw. So I'm going to be able to go back, clean stuff up like that. There's these giant sequences in a cave where there are, there's a killer that's been living there for years, and he's, it's like dead animal carcasses hanging from the ceiling, and it's just this massive cave lit by fire. And I just did not have the skill at the time to do what was in my head. I had a bigger vision than I was capable to produce, and so I want to be able to go back and clean all that stuff up and really present the film the way that it was originally intended to be seen.
Just don't throw in a bunch of CGI Jar Jar Binks or anything like that. We'll be solid.
In fact, in the first film, a lot of the kills were done digitally, and I'm going to be able to go back and actually take out the digital stuff and put in practical kills there.
That's
cool.
Awesome. Yeah. That's a passion project. That's
absolutely a passion project.
That's what I want. I want to be able to go back and clean up and put it the way I always saw it.
Well, it's good that you're able to do that, because how many artists, like, whether, like, let's say you're an actor, you star in a movie, oh yeah, I didn't like my performance there. You can't really go back after it's been released for 5 years and you learn your craft a little bit more. So it's awesome that you can go back and do that. And I'm sure a lot of artists are the same way, but I bet you're nitpicking things that maybe you even did last week. You're like, oh yeah, I could do that a little better.
Absolutely. With practical effects, you can always go back and finesse it again. And no one's gonna, a lot of people haven't seen the film, so it will be like watching it for the first time anyways. And that's okay. That's cool. The performances in the film was super solid, and everybody, and I can see where the flaws were, and I want to make it a piece that the cast is really proud of and to be able to show everyone.
Yeah, and I'm curious, Joe. Going back to Sunset Strip Killers, you kind of mentioned earlier you shot it something like 11, 12 days, just a couple of weeks. Obviously, be the supervisor for the special effects there. To what extent do you get to be involved in like the post-production, to where, hey, you realize you guys picked up a shot, the effect didn't quite, I thought it was good at the time, didn't quite work. Do you get to be involved in that post aspect and go back and kind of clean it up at that point? What does that look like, and to what extent?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I get the first cut of the film. And
excellent.
And Chad's like, take a look at it, Joe. Tell me if there's, you see anything, and I will literally say, this needs to be done. This. You can't leave it like that. We got to go and do this. Have Jeff send me these plates so I can fix it, and I clean it all up. Anything that I think looks, out of place or it's missing, I will gladly do, because this stuff is forever. Eventually this stuff is going to live forever in some library somewhere. 50, 100 years from now, someone's going to have own this library of Chad Farron films, and if you want to go through and watch all of them, we won't have a chance to go back and finesse them then. So you got to do it now. If you get the chance, do it now. That's what I say. Yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, I appreciate you letting us know what's coming down the pipe, and don't want to get you in trouble. Like, you've gotten me in trouble at home because I am friends with you on Facebook, and you are a risky scroll, my friend. I like the other day, I was just scrolling. It was like my normal feed, and boom, there's a 3rd degree face on there. My wife's like, "What is that?" I go, "That's just Joe. Don't worry about it. It's
Buddy Joe, friend of the show."
Yep. And it was on that I had seen you had posted the shot of the severed head from Sunset Strip Killers in the box. So I knew it was coming, and it still surprised me. So I thought that was awesome. Definitely want to keep giving you props for that one. It's just funny. The stuff
in the box. I'll say that head that's in the box was not the head that was cut off the body, because we hadn't shot that scene yet.
So you had to make a second prop.
Well, I just took an older prop head that I had, and we put her wig on it. And then we took the wig off that head and put it on the actress, and shot the scene later, because we had shot that scene earlier over the head in the box. And then I had to go in and I had to put her face onto the head that's in the box.
That's awesome. I wouldn't have known.
All this, it's all the back and forth. And, that's how Chad's able to make these films in 11 days. He just, and we just roll with it and problem solve as it comes up.
Right. That is. Have you ever been involved in one of his pictures on the writing aspect, on the script writing for it?
I haven't been involved in the writing aspect before, but what I do is I'll tell Chad. I'll say, hey, wouldn't it be fun if you shot this like this, or wouldn't it be fun if we took this a little further like this, and then he'll throw it in there, with Dorothea, which is a film that was just released right before Sunset Strip Killers. There's a scene, and I don't know if it made it in the release on streaming. The opening scene of the film, she does her first kill, and she takes her lover and bashes his head against the spout in a bathtub, rams his head to it. And I said, wouldn't it be great if the spout came like to the edge of his mouth and she turned the water on and all the water came out, kind of like, you remember My Bloody Valentine?
Oh yeah.
When Ellen is picked up and her head is smashed on the shower spout, and then the shower comes out. I said, wouldn't it be great if we paid homage to that film? And he's like, oh, we really can't go that far with it. Damn. And then like I get an email code in there, hey Joe, let's do that thing.
Ryan and I were talking recently because we obviously big fans of the Scream franchise, and in the latest edition, Scream 7, there was a kill very similar, and Ghostface picks up one of the victims and he puts his head on a beer tap spout, and he puts the head on there and impales it, and then the beer tap turns on and just spills beer and blood out of the mouth.
We're on the floor laughing in the middle of the theater.
Getting creative with those ones is a lot of fun.
Oh man, it's so good. I will let you go here in a sec. I know you got to get going. You're a very busy guy, but I did see one of the things that you were selected for. You're being a judge for a effects competition. Is that correct?
South Texas International Film Festival is my husband's hometown is down there in McAllen, Edinburgh area in South Texas, and we've been honored to be a part of the judging and the competition from year to year. And it's just great to see the industry thrive in South Texas. And, you got a lot of, untapped talent down there that has these very unique perspectives that you don't see normally out like Hollywood. You're going to get original stories, original take on stories and life down in South Texas, which is a pretty brutal place to grow up. So I'm really interested in seeing what they come up with from year to year. But yeah, that's happening this year in October. I think. Yeah.
Nice. What's
That's
your
exciting.
mindset when you're judging something like that? Are you looking for the most realistic or the most creative? A little mix
Most
of
passionate.
both? Yeah.
It really depends, but I can tell how far someone has put an effort into doing what they're doing. Even if it's not the most skilled, you can see the effort that's involved. And I think that goes a long way. We go back to talking about like Hollywood spending $200 million on a movie and then making Obsession for under $1 million. How much effort was actually involved in doing what it is we're judging? To what extent was the creative person willing to take a risk to do? And I think it really comes off. It's easily to judge who had the most impact on me, and also ultimately, is it entertaining? Does it entertain me? If it entertains me, then they've done their job.
That's
Love it.
awesome. Obviously, guys, go check out Sunset Strip Killers. I knew I was going to fuck it up. Sunset Strip Killers, as Joe said, it's basically everywhere you can find it on streaming. We'll keep you updated when it gets on other platforms. Spend the $8. It is well worth it. See Joe's work. See all of Joe, most of Joe. And then we would love to have you back on, maybe closer to when Morning Architect is ready to go. Obviously, we're gonna bug the shit out of you about ice cream, man. That's 100%. For sure. And Summer of Massacre.
I feel like my entire career has all the skills I've learned specifically to do the effects for another ice cream man. Just like the most crazy stuff, with some great stuff. So yeah,
I can't wait. I'm not going to push any more out of you. I appreciate it, and I know Chris does. The people listening, they appreciate it. Chris, anything in closing, man?
No, Joe. Again, thank you for your time. Thank you for what you do. guys like you and your work and the passion that you bring to what you do is literally the reason that Ryan and I get to do a show like this and why we get to talk about the things that we love. So it's such a pleasure to talk to you, man. We wish you the best. Can't wait to talk to you about these upcoming projects. Ladies and gentlemen, friend of the show, Joe Castro.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a beautiful rest of your evening. And if anybody wants to come and say hello to me, I'm an easy find on Facebook, Joe.Castro, and then on Instagram, Joe_Castro, Joe_Castro_director. Yeah.
Just watch where you're scrolling.
Yeah, my pages are like borderline PG-13.
All right, horror fans, thanks for listening to the Roasted Snow Horror Show. Hanging out with Chris and Ryan. Don't forget to follow us everywhere you haunt your feeds. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and all your favorite podcast apps. Stay spooky. And we'll see you next episode.